The standings in the AFC Central Division reflect the problems for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3 games remaining on their schedule, and they're 1 behind the Cleveland Browns. Next Sunday night, the Steelers will move into San Diego to take on the San Diego Chargers, and we'll be there to bring you the action. Meanwhile, the Chargers are still alive for a playoff spot, and yesterday Dan Fouts had their #1 offense rolling in high gear. First quarter action against Buffalo, no score. Fouts is back. He's looking for Charlie Joyner, and there's a 38-yard touchdown hook up. San Diego going out on top 7-0, and Joyner's NFL record for receptions continues to grow. In the second quarter, San Diego leading 10-0. Buffalo's Bruce Matheson back on play action. Looks for number 85, Chris Burkett, but is picked off by number 29, John Hendy. Hendy takes it back 75 yards for the touchdown. For the day, 2 interceptions for John Hendy, a rookie 3rd-round draft pick out of Long Beach State. In the fourth quarter, San Diego leading 34-7. It's Dan Fouts once again. Those steely eyes looking into the end zone. For number 88, Pete Holohan, a 13-yard touchdown. The Chargers missed the extra point, but they went on to defeat Buffalo 40-7. And a week from tonight, a classic in San Francisco, the Rams and the 49ers. The 49ers very much alive now and well, and they have their playoff future in their own hands. Yesterday in the nation's capital, Carl Monroe gave the 49ers a boost when he took the opening kickoff 95 yards for a touchdown. Then in the second quarter, with San Francisco leading 7-5, Joe Montana went to work, looking deep for Freddie Solomon. Solomon is there, and it's a 39-yard completion, taking the ball to the 1-yard line to set up a 49er touchdown and put San Francisco on top 14-5. Then in the second quarter, with San Francisco leading still 14-5, Jay Schrader is blitzed by Jeff Fuller. Schrader fumbles the football, and Keena Turner is there. Turner scoops it up and races 65 yards for the touchdown. Keena Turner always around the football. The final score, San Francisco defeating Washington 35-8. And a week from tonight, the 49ers will meet the Rams in San Francisco. A win for the 49ers would put them into a first-place tie in the NFC Western Division with the Rams. But remember, the 49ers will own the tiebreaker edge by virtue of 2 wins over the Rams.
We're not a company.
Characters, the city is split over an appliance, the most lovable refrigerator in all the sporting world. Here's Judd Rose with a profile.
In Chicago, 'tis the season to be jolly. It's a time of goodwill and high hopes, a time to act like a kid again. This is the season when everyone believes in that jolly fat man.
He's wholesome. He's all-American. And I like his smile.
He's a hell of a man. I'm just a lovable guy, you know. I have every like everybody say, you know, you're big and everybody, everybody loves you.
Everybody, it seems, does love William Perry, and yes, he is big. He is to big what Rambo is to bad. In fact, the only thing bigger than the refrigerator is fridge fever.
I understand in Japan people actually worship you.
Well, in fact, they worship him just about everywhere. A recent autograph session in suburban Chicago drew 10,000 fans.
He's a big guy and he can knock people over. He's fat.
Call him big, call him fat, William Perry is worth his weight in gold. Last month, he filmed his first commercial for McDonald's. Next up, ads for Coke and cars and one for, what else? A refrigerator company.
He's sort of like the American hero. He's persevered. He's come from the depths, and now he's sitting on the top.
It was a fast trip to the top for a rookie defensive tackle, written off early on by a Bears coach as overweight and disappointing. But disappointment became disbelief on Monday, October 21st.
It wouldn't have happened if we wouldn't have been on Monday Night TV, if we wouldn't have been inside the 5-yard line 3 times in a row. Twice he blocked, once he carried the ball.
Carry it, he did. 1 small yard into the end zone, 1 giant leap into the limelight.
We are watching a folk hero being made. They will write songs about William Perry.
Perry, refrigerator Perry, rock banana stomping for the Bears.
The legend grew by leaps and pounds. He caught a touchdown pass. The Bears cheerleaders sang his praises.
William Perry, the refrigerator, the ultimate football terminator.
He picked up Peyton and tried to carry him across the goal line. The Fat Boys did a rhapsody in rap.
He's big and bad. There is none greater. He's William Perry, the refrigerator. At 308, he leads the pack at defensive tackle and running back.
In his last game, Perry went airborne for a touchdown, and a Chicago nun felt divine inspiration.
Refrigerator Perry is on the move.
He's with the Bears as they continue and groove. He's a huge rookie with exciting new tricks, helping the Bears go to New Orleans in '86.
Sports writers dubbed him the Galloping Roast and the best use of fat since the invention of bacon. Fan clubs formed, souvenirs sprouted, and across the land, there were enough refrigerators to make a Maytag repairman weep. Did all this give the big man a big head?
I'm just taking it day by day, letting it go, and just being myself. I'm not getting a big head and not holding my head up high or tooting my nose up. I'm just William Perry as I am. That's it.
And there's a lot of it. William Perry was born to be wide.
William, when he was born, he was 13.5 pounds. So he just grew a big boy.
Perry was a monster of the midriff before he was a monster of the midway, but recently he's tackled his weight, dieting down to 302. Still, for Chicago Bear fans, it's Fat City.
Football is a very serious thing in this country. I mean, once you see Landry often enough on the sidelines, you realize it's a very serious business. And in comes this guy who makes us remember it's still a game.
And by doing that, the fridge has brought out the kid in all of us. Sure, he's got a big belly and a gap in his teeth, but it's his imperfections that make him so perfect. And to anyone who's ever felt like a size 60 in a size 40 world, he ain't heavy, he's their brother. Judd Rose for ABC Sports in Chicago.
Gotta tell you, this just wouldn't.
And computers together. The Orange Bowl, and here in our broadcast booth joining us is Larry Zonka. Larry Zonka, of course, a member of that 72 undefeated team. And what's the toughest part about going through a year as you take it game after game, Larry, to pull off an undefeated season, as you did, 17-0 in 1972?
Well, it wasn't that bad at the beginning. You know, if you remember, we came off a terrible loss at the hands of the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl the year before. And Coach Shula stood before us in training camp that year in July and made the comment. I don't remember how many of the fellows or I don't know how many of the fellows would remember that, but I remember it. And he said, we're going to take it one game at a time, and our objective is to win every game. And that was kind of unusual talk back then. Not many people had ever come close to that. So as we went along, the pressure began to build. Probably along about the 10th game, it got extreme.
Was there a point when he came and said, look, guys, here's how we're going to do it? 10th, 11th game, somewhere in there?
Things got real tight along about the 11th or 12th game. Surprisingly enough, that year, if my memory serves me correct, we had a near loss at the hands of the Giants in New York, a great organization that you're familiar with, I'm sure.
I say that, Larry, because here we are in the 13th game for the Bears, and they had just stormed through the opposition. Are you surprised at what's happening tonight?
Very surprised. Really, I had an indication of it early in the first quarter when it became apparent. Bob Kuchenberger pointed it out to me that a lot of the Bears players were being affected drastically by the heat.
It is a warm, muggy night. Glad to see you, Larry, as always. Good luck in your job up in Jacksonville, general manager of the Jacksonville Bulls, and might be safe on that undefeated season.
I hope so.